Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in the world, in space, everywhere else you may be. Special happy Father's Day. Greetings to you. You guys are doing an awesome job. Continue to mentor, to guide, to protect, and to ensure that you prepare the little ones and the big ones, of course, for whatever is to come. So
Yeah.
happy Father's Day.
Okay, man. Nigel, let me see if we're on there before we continue there because
Let me
something
see. Let me see. I
something
think I
taking me
think we're
there.
on now.
We on? Okay,
Let me
yes, I
see.
think we're on. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
So
yes. We
Nigel,
are
I
here now.
decided that we would not wear the same, shit again as last week,
No, no, no,
If you
no,
think
no.
that
I,
happened to
I
me again, Nigel, you lie. Because what I did, I put on a dress this time, and I know it's a papi show wedding, so you don't put on the dress.
I thought about it and I was like, no, not this Saturday. Not when me have Cassie was going to try to
I
reunite
know,
people and
you know.
families and friends. I
And
say, no,
Castle
not
Bruce
this
people, they have
Saturday.
a kind of a money
And because
man.
it's Father's Day, I
Yeah,
decide, no way
yeah.
for a dress today.
Yeah,
Today
okay.
has to be representing
Well,
the
I have a
families,
dress, Papa. Yes, and
Yes, you have your
camouflage.
dress on. All
And
right,
yes,
wonderful,
yes,
wonderful. Yes.
yes.
By the
Nice.
way, before we continue, congratulations as well on your
Oh,
award.
okay, merci.
Your
Okay,
long
let's move
service
on now,
award.
Nigel. Okay, thank you to all of them. Okay, let's move. Yes, sir. Let's move on.
And to all the others.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
youngster man, you're doing a tremendous job.
No cookies
Continue,
to me.
continue what you're doing. And congratulations to you as well, youngster. All right, so we can move on.
Okay, right. Okay, look, you see now I have lost focus.
And that's the whole idea. But you
I've
shall
lost
reclaim it in a
focus.
while.
And Curtis is maybe saying, "Come
once
on,
our
Ivona,
dear
get on, man,
once
get on
our
with your
dear friend
program."
who I haven't seen for so long joins us,
Yeah.
Lauren Ban is
Yes,
always
yes.
a
We'll
pleasure.
have fun
Don't
today.
go, don't talk yet. Don't talk yet. But fact we haven't spoken for a while and seen each other and everything else. It's always a pleasure. So that will make you get back focused and you will,
I
back
suspect.
on
Yeah.
track again,
Yes, 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 yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. Let me also join the many voices, probably voices, voices who are concerned about the non-selection of Alec Athanas and Calvin Hodge to the
Cabin.
West Indies team.
Yeah,
Crazy.
crazy.
All right,
It's a
so
good
we've
way to
said all those
describe
things
it.
now.
Yes, we said all those things now.
All right, good, good,
So,
good,
who
good,
born
good. So
Nigel Ula?
is that? Well, I'm
Ula.
on.
Okay. I can remember like
You good?
before. Yeah, I good man. Like before when like
Yes.
my
I hear you say
grandmother.
a thing there about you cooling, you cooling, you
Mind me.
cooling.
So I was just saying my grandmother. I remember long ago my grandmother of blessed memory, of course. So when someone would ask her, like, how you doing, um, and she would say, "Mwela kachebe papa," and things. To jam mwe cafe mwe mal, mwela kachebe. You know what that means? Tu jam mwe cafe mwe mal.
Yes,
Tout vel
yes.
do
I saw the
mwen,
song that time. Yeah.
cafe mwen mal. Jam la kwap. La me la agudi.
Mwela.
Don't worry, we good to it.
Well, I got you, well, I got you.
No, we
But
are
they
the
still tell
best.
you everything that's all the things that's hurt you. Yes,
We are
yes,
the
yes,
best.
yes.
Dominic, I tell you. To be able to speak Creole, though, is a blessing. There is something with the Creole vernacular, like Nigel, that brings out, a sense of pride, a closeness to our cultural heritage, and things like that. So when you can speak it,
Yes,
well, I
yes.
find I
I think
looking
there's.
good.
I mean, you try to tell somebody something in English and you tell it them in Creole, they have a different vibe, they have a different feel. It's a whole new flavor. Always the
Yes,
same thing
yes,
you're saying,
yes.
but it's just a whole
Yes.
different vibes.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's why it makes us so expressive and be able to, um, cuss each other out nicely,
And Kirsten, good
but
Kirsten too,
also
eh?
compliment each other
Yes,
nicely
right,
in the
yeah.
Creole
Yeah.
Creole
The
language,
Creole brings
So
a certain, like some excitement. So you would say something in English and you not
yes,
really get the
yes, yes,
gist of
yes,
it.
yes.
But when you can
It
understand Creole,
definitely so.
yes, and you say it in Creole. So,
It's a
yeah,
different thing.
yeah,
It's a different thing,
yes, yes. And when
Just say if
somebody speaks in Creole,
yes, I have to be very careful today because the whole Cassie Bruce is going to invade the program today. So
the Castle
it's
Bruce
just
crew. I tell you, they have a money
Cassie Bruce
man. They have a
people.
kind of a thing about them,
Yes, they
But
have
it's
another
alright.
bang
Yeah,
too. They have another
yeah,
thing
they have a
about
kind.
them
Yeah.
too. So it's the same way like they have the Creole language. It's the same thing they have
Yes.
about them.
Unfortunately, Breaker could not
Yeah.
be on today because Breaker is
Oh,
performing as
that's
we
for that
speak.
one. If he had joined today, that would be more trouble.
Yes, sir, Papa. Nigel,
Yes,
before we
yes,
go on to
yes.
our guest, though, by the way, I am still shocked by the news of this lone plane crash survivor, Nigel. The man in seat 11A, I think.
Yes. not only survived, I mean, survived in the sense that he's, I mean, almost, like not like normal, please let me put it in quotes. I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle. It's
Yeah,
nothing short
man.
of a miracle. And, I hope he uses that opportunity to continue to give thanks. Yes, because that is something else. Over
Nigel,
all 200 plus
man,
years, the only
Nigel.
one to survive this.
It's as you said, it's nothing short of a miracle. I mean, it is not the first time
Oh,
this
yeah.
has happened, but I'm thinking to myself, Nigel, me first of all, I would be one of the casualties very early, eh? Maybe I'd be the first casualty. Like seriously, Nigel, me?
You're talking like aliens, man.
Nigel!
Before it even
No,
crashed
boy.
on.
No, I gone. I gone. Fini bat. Left to mon. I gone. Seriously, Nigel, me? Yeah, but yeah, it's really a painful reality for someone though, even if you're the lone survivor. I mean, and you
Yeah.
need to have a strong support system, Nigel. Wow, I can just imagine.
I mean, I haven't like get the story whether he was there alone or whether he had his family with him and so on.
Well,
so you could imagine if he had
again,
friends and family.
boy.
And he's a lone survivor, how painful that is. You almost sometimes you find yourself like blaming yourself why I didn't go with the rest of them, and that kind of thing. But then you have to find the purpose why you kept there.
Man,
Yeah.
Nigel, it is not easy. Wow.
It's not.
To be able to live a near normal life for someone like that it's a challenge. So
it is.
Physical healing, emotional healing, these things are needed.
Yeah. And then to get the courage to fly again.
Nigel, this talk is making me dizzy. Anybody on the book?
So move on to something
yes,
else.
let's go on the book. Let's see what's happening on the book on the
The
tube.
book is extremely busy.
Let's see what's happening.
Very,
Yes.
very busy this morning. I won't say all everybody's telling you congratulations again and to all the other awardees, but we'll move on from that part about it. We're doing Lawrence. Good morning, Ivona. Happy Father's Day to Nigel from Texas. Let's see. Happy Father's Day. I'm taking all my Father's Day happy. Happy Father's Day, Alicia Griffith. Thank you, my dear. Glenda Shillingford is there as well. Lockton. Sandra Norris says, okay, now we live. Jacinta Barnes, Luke Barnes this morning, I'm going to join that program.
And even if they're not
Slash, good morning to you as well. Good morning to Jacinta. Who else is on? Jude Alexander. Good morning. Yes, Creole have a different taste. Creole is unique. Renick Thomas says good morning. And of course, he wants to say the other thing too to you. And all the other awardees who were recognized yesterday. Wilbert Willis, rather. Bonjour, Ivos and Nigel. Good to see you guys again. Sure. She on there still. Lauren on and she's still going to be a guest. Look trouble. She's doubling tonight.
I tell you, they have my man. They have a go on day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cecil Shillingford, Celestine, good. Thank you so much for the Happy Father's Day as well. Wendy Copel, good. Hey, that's the same Wendy. Wendy, good morning to you too as well. And all the others.
Remember Wendy back in the day was the life of a party, yeah?
Wendy was the party?
Yes, man. Yes, that's it. Wendy was the party. And she was the Calypso tent and and more.
Yes, and of course the YouTube folks as well who always say we forget them. Good morning to you as well. Let's see what they're saying there very quickly on their end. Good morning to you, Regina Newton Walsh. Again, congratulations to Gavin, Ivona, Curtis, Elizabeth Thomas says happy Saturday to the family. Congratulations, Ivona, on 32 years at DBS, well deserved. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And happy Father's Day. So that's it.
Okay. All right. So
we appreciate you guys, man. By the way, share it. Share the live
share it.
Share it all over the place.
Yes, Nigel. Okay, so Nigel, it's time for the Dominica corner, so we can bring on our guest. My turn, man.
Your turn.
Wait, so this right turn.
Yes, your turn.
Thank you, Nigel, for the media opportunity. What are we gonna ask now? Okay, name 6 hamlets in Castle Bruce.
I I just know that she'll
So
do it.
Castle Bruce have a lot of hamlets, a little,
Knows
place.
that she'll do it.
And some of them are named
I said I'm gonna
after
prepare,
areas in Roseau as well. So
I said I was going to prepare, but you see, it's only one thing I know in Castle Bruce is glue. That's it.
I was saying, Nigel, I was saying some of them are named after, but it's not after. Some of them have the same name with some areas in Roseau as well. So all you know is glue.
Glue. My finger pizza.
Let me see. Not just six somebody. Ask them to help you. If a father answer correctly, we're giving.
Help me and tell me somewhere.
Yes,
please.
we'll give a prize to the first 3 fathers who answer correctly. Wind blow is one. Wind blow, Nigel. Jalousie.
Wind blow.
Jalousie.
Jalousie. I should
Yes.
jalousie, man. Yes.
Emzol, Nigel. There's an Emzol in Castle Bruce.
In Castle Bruce.
And he's a lot more.
I mean, Castle Bruce people taking it too far now.
There's another one, that has same name with
but there is one thing I tell us, Breaker had to which one? Yo.
There's Senhouse. Senhouse.
Yes.
Right? Yes, Senhouse.
Yes.
Senhouse is one.
Yes.
I
mean the flats.
You in the flats?
Yeah, another place called in the flats.
I don't know if it's Glue flats.
No?
I don't know. They'll tell us that they're there. They are in. So we'll go over to them, Nigel.
Okay, I have one for you.
Anybody answer, by the way? Anybody?
Because whoever tell it to me must be correct. Charlottesville.
Right? I think Charlottesville, right? I think Charlottesville.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, my dear friend.
Nigel, that's cheating. I was asking, Nigel, did anybody answer correctly on the live? Who is a father?
Let me see.
Jacinta Banis is saying, what is this?
Jacinta, the father.
I don't know if the phones have its own lexicon.
How do you pronounce that? Tipa or Tepa? Tipa?
Tepe?
Tepe?
Tepe. Okay, Papa.
Tepe.
What?
All right, but you're not a father, so you can have it.
You're not a father. Wakama. Soft Drago.
I don't know anything about Castle Bruce. I feel so bad. From Castle Bruce.
Soft Drago is saying Wakama. Somebody said there's another name.
Yeah, Wakama.
Lord Bo.
Yes, Lord Bo.
Wakama.
Charlottesville.
Wakama is on the way to the Kalinago.
Charlottesville, yes. But
we're not. Where is Lauren? She's not answering us, man. She's not saying anything, man. Before she come on, she should know the drill.
She helped me a while ago. She helped me a while ago and tell me Charlottesville.
So we have an Emzol in Roseau. There's also Charlottesville as well. There's another one. There's a Lord Bo. Okay. Wind blow is in Calibishi. What? Somebody said wind blow is in Calibishi. Muriel Stewart.
Hey,
also probably Calibishi has a wind blow.
Yeah, Jonas Joseph says dark end.
Dark end. Okay.
Yes. Is he your father? If he's your father, you win, He's a father? Yeah. All right. So, Jonas Joseph, welcome. What? You have won yourself
just like
a prize for connecting the dots. Yes.
One more.
And he gave us dark end.
One more. Because we have plenty of parley there today. There. So one more, at least one more. We said 3,
we need
but
we'll
take one more father.
But I think we call all the hamlets. More. No?
So more? When they go on, look at it.
On the snow.
Well, look at the
on the snow? Nigel, on the snow is a hamlet.
On the snow? What am the Castle Bruce there? On the snow, wind blow.
So, imagine me as a little girl. A teenager. I found making a break and he said, so where you from?
Zambia.
I said, on the snow. No boy. Zambia?
And then he come back and tell you, oh, the guy from Wind.
Nigel, let's bring them on, Tan. Let's bring them on. So we have a winner, right? We have a winner.
Well, I think Rennick Thomas also mentioned Tranto.
Oh yes, Tranto. Tranto,
so,
Tipa, Mopo. I'm just thinking of the Domlek. When Domlek has a notice, so normally you have Tranto, Tipa, Mopo, and areas like that. So
okay. So Rennick Thomas have said that it's a monetary prize. He's making his donation to the SMA Alumni Fund.
Yeah, you have to mention the SMA. Remind me. Anyway, let's go to Studio 210, and it's time to bring on our guests officially.
Yes.
Look, somebody calling us. No, we're not taking calls, right? Okay, let's just take that caller quickly. Hello, good morning. Connect to the dots. Hello. Okay. All right, so it's time to bring on our guest, and we're going to talk about reunion. And we know what reunions are, really more than an excellent source of cherished memories. I mean, so many things can come out of a reunion. The mere idea of organizing activities to reunite kinfolk, to unite friends, it's already a win. And so I want to congratulate the organizers of the Castle Bruce Reunion 2025. So when we can break bread together, Nigel, and come, together in a community, maybe under a tree, by the river and things like that, tell stories, go to church together. This is the essence of a reunion, and we'll hear more about that as we go along with our guests. All right, so what do we bring on first? Nigel, your turn to bring them on.
Turn to bring them on?
Yes.
You have? Wait, so... Ayola's in the studio. Okay, all right.
Yes, Ayola's in the studio.
Jefferson Drago.
Yes.
And
Jefferson
Lauren
Drago,
Dennis
yes.
Roberts, Ayola George, and it's all going to tell us about the Castle Bruce reunion, what it's all about, when it's supposed to be, even why they're having a reunion with family and friends. And I like the fact they put family and friends. So it means maybe what it means is that even if you're not from Castle Bruce, you can be part of something like that, I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll find out in a few, Yeah. Because his Father's Day, I'm gonna start with Jefferson first because it's Father's Day.
Okay.
Normally we start with the ladies, but tomorrow is our day. Nobody wants to tell us that, so we're gonna take our day. Jefferson, good morning to you, man. Welcome to Connecting the Knots. It's a pleasure to have you connecting with us. How are you doing, my brother?
Good morning, Nigel. I'm excited this morning.
Well, I'm happy to know you're excited.
Good morning to Dominica, especially to Casabrucians at home and abroad.
Yes, sir.
That's what we
Casabrucians,
I tell you, they have a style.
Listen, the Casabruce people have a thing about them. They think that they just coin things. They just do what they want.
I'm a Rosonian. I'm a Grandfonian. And then a Rosonian.
Yes, you're Grandfonian. Yes. Must be a Portsmouthian. But yes, it's nice. It's nice, Jeff. And of course, we'll be talking a lot more to you about it and to all the Casabrucians and all those connected, And then we have our roving. He was our roving reporter at one point, remember?
Oh, yes, and he did a fantastic job.
In the Diaspora Expo, he was our roving reporter.
Yes.
But Anthony, hey, Drago, good morning to you, man. How you doing? You're still on mute. Yeah, okay,
yes,
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, good morning, Nigel. Good morning, Ivonia. Good morning, my fellow Casabrucians, Lauren and Ayo and Jeff, and everybody else in the audience. It's wonderful to be here to remind people that Casabruce is the premier village in Dominica.
Yes, sir. The man understand his assignment very early.
Very early.
But that's a big time journalist, so
Premier Village.
Yes.
Very early.
Yes.
Well, we'll definitely find out more about that. Of course, we also want to let people know they can tune into Anthony's Drago's program that he hosts.
Oh, yes.
He have a wonderful podcast that he does. So be part of that. It's called
This Week
Join the Conversation or something?
This Week in Interview. Every Wednesday.
This Week in Interview, yes.
Every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So, join on that and be part of the process. We like to make sure we encourage everyone to be part of whatever's going on. So, good job there, Antonio.
Very good
Keep
job.
I
listen
Thanks
as well,
very much.
Nigel, at times when I get the time, and very, very good. And,
Yes.
he speaks well, he enunciates properly, he's well researched, and, he knows a lot. So, you must listen to this.
Definitely so. He hasn't invited me on the program yet or you, but that's okay.
And what we have again?
And then, of course, we have my dear friend, before we go back to the studio, my dear friend, Lauren Dennis Roberts. Good morning to you, my dear. How are you doing?
Good morning to my friends Nigel and Ivona. Good morning to Dominicans at home and abroad. Good morning to all Casabrucians.
Hey, Papa. And for
It's
those
a
who
pleasure
don't
to
know,
be here today.
it is a pleasure. And you know why it's more of a pleasure? Because we started this program 4 years ago. And our very first guest on Connecting the Dots was Lauren Dennis Roberts. And 4 years later, she joining us again to talk about Cassie.
Yes.
Always been in the way.
We are here to discuss a grand event coming up. The third edition, actually. It's the third edition of the Casabruce Family and Friends Reunion 2025.
Okay.
Hey, he come back, man.
Who is that?
Alvin Thomas want to say good morning.
Okay. Now,
He disappeared, now he come back. Good morning to you
Yes.
too. No, you come back and say
he wanted to win a prize, man.
Yeah, I don't know where he was. He just left and now he wants
Yeah.
to come back now.
Okay.
We'll
So,
see if we allow
Nigel, you
him
miss
back.
your sister telling you Happy Father's Day. Sandra Francis is on.
Oh my
Yeah,
darling
okay.
sister, thank you so much, Sandra, for wishing me happy Father's Day. I appreciate it. Thank you, my
All
dear.
right, Papa. Excuse me. All right. So let's
Yes,
bring on now
we know
the,
what time to don't worry. Bro.
Yes,
And
take
we
it.
haven't said hi to
to the
Ayola,
lovely
of course.
daughter of Jacinta,
Oh.
Vanis,
Yes.
Ayola.
Good morning to all, everybody listening. Good morning to all Casabrusians. Yes, Ivona, we like to toot our horns. Do you know that Casabrus was the
Yeah, so did
village
you know?
that started off this trend of community reunions? We
Okay, so
started
we'll
in
give all your did you know as
2004.
well. We'll give all your
And
second.
after that, everybody pops up with a reunion, but we are the originators, right?
Pioneers.
Lauren and my mom kicked things off back then. So we've been doing this for some time, and we're excited to be here to talk about the mega reunion that's going to be happening on the 10th to the 17th of August 2025. Yes.
Okay, nice. So let's get to the discussion. I mean, we started with asking people to name some of the hamlets, so that is a learning experience for many who did not know some of the hamlets in Casabros. Nigel, how do we begin? We want to get a little from each of them who they are, of course, you know.
But we always do that.
Yeah, we
have
always
to
do that. And I think in the context of the program and the discussion that we have now, I think it's well fitting to find out how Jefferson Drago, you know, grew up in Casabros. What can you remember Jefferson Drago? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I'm Jefferson Drago. I'm a police officer. I was born and I grew up in Casabros. Yeah.
In which hamlet? Toronto, wind
St.
blow,
House.
under the snow.
St. House.
St. House.
Yeah, just
St.
below,
House,
just
okay.
below Zambia there. Close to Zambia area.
Papa, watch
That's
it.
I was raised.
Ivona, we're not seeing ourselves on the screen.
I wanna.
We want
let me
to be
ask you,
seen.
I wanna.
Yes.
Listen, we have
We want people to know what Jeff look like.
Okay, so let-
because they call about 15 of them already so far. You know.
15. Okay, so here's
At
what.
least 5 from my memory. At least 5, they have. Hold on, I'm going to come them and tell me from what they said. Toronto, wind blow, under the snow, dark end, jalousie, St. House, paper. That's just from memory. Eh? Let me see. I'm not even watching the book. What does it
Wakama,
called again?
wind blow,
Yeah,
Wakama.
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville is 9.
Lord
And
Ball.
you missed
Em
My
Zol,
Lord's
that's
Hill. My Lord's Hill.
Yes.
My Lord's Hill 11. Okay, stop. Because all you're going to tell me the rest now. So we have 11 already. All right. So every Casabros have a name, man. So sorry to cut you, Jeff. Yeah, you were talking about, you know, what you from St. House, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So what was it like for you? I mean, growing up in St. House at the time.
A lot of joy growing up in Casabros, you know. We lived, as I said, below the Pentecostal church. We attended that Pilgrim Holiness Church that was in Jalousie. Yes. That in those days, Papi Leonard Baptist was a pastor in those days. I was a young boy going to church there. I enjoyed that also, going to church. As a church boy, as a matter of fact. I grew up in the church. Yeah, from small I grew up in the church. So all these things we enjoy that. We, as a young boy, we enjoy going under the mango trees and all the time. We would go and pick up all the mangoes on the ILO tree.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, we would stone the tree for the balance of the ripe mangoes. When ILO came, we would run home and so on. But it was fun growing up in Casabros. And
Nice.
I always miss Casabros. It's very dear to my heart. I wouldn't forget Casabros. I have property in Casabros. I have land there. So I'm not living in Casabros. Yes, I'm not living in Casabros.
Nice. And I'm sure you'll tell us about all the times you used to go into the river and do all of that
Yes.
kind of stuff. That
Boucherie, yeah.
most of the young boys, and of course, sports seem to have been something that's very part and parcel of Casabros. Tony, okay, yes. They say they were not seeing you. Okay, they're seeing you now. Okay, beautiful. So you see, we're seeing everybody now. Excellent. Tony, tell us a little bit about you growing up, Casabros back then. Of course, what hamlet you're from as well.
Well, so I was also born in St. House.
We have two St. House so far. So St. House leading the thing.
My mom is from Jalousie,
Okay.
but she married, and my father brought her over to St. House. So So I was born in Senhouse, and growing up in Casper's, there are a few things I remember. You mentioned some of them. The rivers. Casper's has a lot of rivers. Not only we have a lot of rivers, we have a lot of different access to the rivers. So on Saturdays, at the time I was growing up, the village did not have electricity or pipe-borne water. So going to the river with our sisters to wash clothes was an event, and the girls would come together and decide which area they're going to wash that Saturday. And so it was a gathering, and as young boys would be in the basket bathing, and they would, help. When they wash the clothes, we could open it on the stone so it could dry. That was a big thing. Also, after you do your work, especially in the summer, you go down in the bushy. Everybody knew that growing up, Casper's had one of the best laid out, river mouth, bushy river mouths and beaches. And that's where you learn to swim. There was an area we used to call the Maho. When you go to the river mouth, if you can go to the Maho, you're a big man, you pass your swimming test.
Wow.
So, because you had to swim across that river to go to Maho. So those are where you got the testing grounds. We had wonderful teachers. Ivona started the program by talking about head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And remember when school started, you would go for your physical exam, examine your nails and show you how to stand up straight, and sort of like really instill that sense of self in us. And I guess that's what you guys mean when you say Casper's Lavamani. Because that was part of our daily teaching when we go to school, even as young kids, and we carried that with us. How to stand up straight, how to pay attention, how to make sure that you're properly groomed, how to speak. We used to have teacher Adi that would come with his tuning fork and use his tuning fork to teach us how to sing. He still cannot sing, but and so that is that. The other thing I remember, I know we have time for another hour, but I remember a lot of participation, community participation. The women were in social league, and that was truly a supporting unit among all the women in the village, and the men, especially the Catholic Church, used to be in Holy Name Society.
Interesting, and I know what comes out of this discussion: social league and Holy Name Society.
Holy Name Society. So whenever there was something in the village, the men would support the women, because the women would be doing their share, and if there's anything that requires masculinity, the men were organized in that kind of way. They were, even in the Catholic Church, they were ushers on a Sunday to make sure that we sat and paid attention, and all those little soft and subtle things that make you into a person that can contribute properly. So that was Casper's, and of course the fun, because Casper's is the mecca of music. I heard you guys talk about Breaker and the Gaylord's Power Union, and even decades later, the most touching Mother's Day song is from Breaker. Our Pride song, Pray for the Black Man, and all of those different things are from Casper's. So I will stop there, because we can have 5 shows just on Casper's.
Yes. But lots of memories, and I mean, one of the good things, one of the things I love about this Connecting with Us is where it allows us to reconnect back, and make that connection of what happened back then. Of course, we had the famous Last LD Fewans, which came later on.
Yes.
With Ras Joe and company, which we'll probably talk about. I don't know if they're going to be part of the reunion or not, but we'll find out about that. Different generations here, so I'm going to go to Lauren, and then after we'll go to Iola, so she can, because I'm pretty sure her memories of Casper's, I want to see if it's going to be different than you guys want, and we'll find out why it might be so. Lauren, tell us a little bit about it again, or I can go back to the recording 4 years ago, but tell us a little bit about growing up in Casper's, man.
I'll just say in a nutshell.
You're from Jalousie, right? Jalousie, or saying?
Yeah, but I was born in Tipie. Tipie is part of Jalousie, but it's a special little corner down by the sea. So I was born there, actually. I wasn't born at PMH. I was born in Tipie, between the river and the sea. For me, Casper's has been just a special, unique sport where you want to just raise any child. And for me, my home was central in the community. It was the entertainment sport. It was where you get your bread, your cakes. We had shop, everything. So my mother used to call home Bongri 6. That's where the ball stops. And she would cook for everybody. It's just a pot of food every day. She said, whoever pass will get, whoever pass. So that giving thing that I have is from her. I will give Tony or school days or happy days. But for me, it was a Saturday when you'll see everybody heading down to the river with their basin. Now, you would know who got a box from the Virgin Islands because if you got a box, you would pitch the fabric softener and the breeze at the top because it's blue soap we used to wash with. So you walk down to the river and everybody would know you get a box, man, from St. Croix because you have that soap powder and that thing that came from overseas. And then we would help each other. But what was fascinating, we used to do a thing called boucher glue. That is where you block the water and you catch the crayfish and the thing. So boucher glue was a huge thing. So even if you went to the river, after you help everybody, you would boucher glue and everybody would go home with lush and crayfish and then you would have meat. You know?
Wow.
And yeah. And then another thing was sports. I've always been a sports person. Rounders was big. And then I used to play very well. I'm not boasting myself, but there's this lady called Lucy Nation, and she came to the school and she saw me play. And she went and she asked my mother if I could play on the senior team. My mother said, no, that's my only girl. I'm not saying her anyway because they used to go out every Sunday. So she begged. My mother said, Lucy, I'm giving you my only daughter. Make sure you take care of her. And that's where my sports thing grew. But you know, Rounders used to be so big. Now, when a team come to Castlebrooks, you would cook for them. When you go to the community, say you go to Monjon or St. Joe, they would cook for you. You never walk with food. So you invited a team, you cook for the team. You go to the team's village, they cook for you. And you know, that unity was there. The end. When we went to play, the entire community waited. And we would, once we win, and we used to win a lot, we hit the health center. You would say, if you go to St. Joe, you would sing, fly away, St. Joe, fly away, no Alice St. Joseph, no Bio 142, and everybody would come out, and the bus, the truck, it was a truck at the time, would go around the village, man, and we celebrating, and then we go. Castlebrooks was fun. Castlebrooks was just amazing. And you know what? Googlu Flat was the place to meet every Sunday. So you'd go to church, you go home, and every Sunday, everybody dress, whether it's your bell bottom, your afro, and you just meet in Googlu, talk and laugh and think, and then 6 o'clock you go back home. So it has always been a community that has been united, and I'm thanking God that I was born there. Thank you.
You almost make me feel like I should have been born in Castlebrooks the way you're saying that thing there. That's what Castlebrooks listen to you. I want to tell us about your experience. You're growing up in Castlebrooks.
Because you're much younger.
I'm not sure if it was the same as Lawrence or Tony or Jeff.
My experience is actually going to be very similar to theirs, for the reason being that as a child, I had migrated to the U.S. to join my parents in Virginia. They were both going to university there. And so my childhood days, from let's say 8 years old, I was not in Castlebrooks. And when we returned, I lived in town because I was going to convent. And then after that, I went back to the States, then to Jamaica. So I had been out of Castlebrooks for quite some time. I returned in 2017 to take care of my grandmother. But I have vivid memories of my childhood days in Castlebrooks. Some of the things I remember is, everybody mentioned the river. River was a big deal in Castlebrooks. So going and catch VO, bathing, washing clothes with your neighbors. I mean, you would stay and you would have that white thing on your leg from the soap. I remember that. We didn't have water and lights. We didn't, I was born at the end of the 70s. So I remember there was a standpipe, and I don't know if it was the pressure or what, but it wasn't, it didn't have the handle to turn. So we had to take a stone and push the stone on top of the standpipe, and the standpipe would be doing like that for you to get water. Another thing I enjoyed was going to garden with my granny. When my parents migrated, I was staying with my granny, Tanti. Everybody knows her as Tanti, Florina Banis. And we used to call her Kangaroo because Tanti would be walking ahead on her way. And we would be skylacking, my cousins and I, picking mango, picking fat pork. By the time we reached garden, Tanti already do all her work. And what was the climax for us at garden was eating garden food. I don't know if you've ever had garden food, but there's something about going to the garden. The most my granny would buy is like meat in my Austria shop or Muscovin shop. She would buy her meat, but everything came from the garden. The fig, the seasoning, and the food just had a great flavor. Yeah. Because of my granny, my parents were gone. I was with my granny. All my granny friends were my friends. So most of my friends were old women in the village, like Sita, that's Tony's mom, Mapa, Ma Gladys, those were the people that I hung with. So when I came back as an older person, I didn't really connect with some of the young people my age, because when they were growing up, I was out of the village. Two more things. The same community spirit that Tony mentioned, I remember that. I remember Christmas plays in the Catholic Church. Brenda and them, they would do nice plays. Mary, Jesus, Joseph, full costume and everything. They used to have a pageant where the credit union is now. That used to be a basketball court. And I remember years ago, my granny entered a pageant. With I probably was a church thing, but things like that used to happen on the regular, and you used to have to walk a lot everywhere. So now we're modernized and everybody has a vehicle. I still wonder to myself how we used to do it, because Senhouse is on a hill, Jalousie is on a hill, right, Lauren? Everywhere is on a hill, and you used to have to walk down to Guglu to the Catholic Church, and everybody used to walk up and down. So we were very healthy back in the day. And then another thing that sticks out to me with Castlebros is the names. Like, we were talking about the Hamlets, yes. But you would have certain characters, and sometimes it's not until they die or something, that their real names. So there's I remember Makashi. She was known in my memory, every time there's a funeral, there's that one person that sings all the songs loud and just they lead the whole. I remember her. And then you have funny nicknames, you have there's a neighbor of my granny's, they call him Tukuma. I do not know Tukuma's. Yeah, I don't know Tukuma's real name. I think he used to live in the UK, and then he came back, and I have a cousin, his name, we call him Tikiling. That's his nickname. People like that. So it was very interesting growing up in Castlebros, and I'm happy to be there now as an adult. But my fondest memories, really and truly, were back in the day when I was a kid. And by the way, my mom has a book coming out soon that will capture a lot of these type of memories from the village. Yeah.
Interesting. Nigel, we're going to Castlebros, huh?
we
are going to the Castlebros reunion. Okay,
yes,
Nigel.
Yes, we
we need to get a taste of this.
We're starting from Dark End, and then we're going up to Emzol, and then from Emzol we're going to Tipa, and then from Tipa we're going to Senhouse. And then we're going for everyone.
Yeah.
We're going for everywhere.
Yeah. See you and I, boy. Walking if I was TTD shirts, boy.
We're going to walk.
Lucas, Nice. But I love this.
Just kind of listening to all the different the way different people grew up.
Yeah.
One thing seemed to be kind of linking everything is that whole community vibes, that whole community spirit that was always there. Is that something that you feel has either disappeared or is not as strong as it used to be, and you're hoping that the reunion can probably bring that kind of spirit again? Anyone?
The village has expanded. Like before, everything was Guglu, Now you have people in apartments by the bay. You have people move to Windblow. People have left their family homes and built their own homes. So that expansion, I think, has contributed. And then you have persons like, for example, I work in town. I commute every day. I leave in the morning. I come back at night. So there has been some change in the dynamics in some way. But I feel that most, if not all, persons from Castlebros still have that love for their community. They will support whatever is going on in the community, and I think that will be on full display when this reunion happens.
Give us the dates of the reunion. We have not even mentioned the dates and the theme before you move on. Lauren, just give us the dates of the reunion. You hear me, Lauren? Or anyone can
yes.
just give us the date before we move on.
Yeah, it's August 10th to the 17th, 2025.
Okay.
And the theme is Casabros Sisano.
C'est place
Place, no.
nous.
C'est place no. Casabros c'est place no.
As you go say plus no August 10th
Our
to the 15th.
place.
But you were also gonna add to something that I had mentioned.
Right.
Yes. It's in our DNA as Casabrosians to stay connected.
Yeah.
Because if you are to do a little survey, Casabros is one of the communities that migration has affected. And
Right.
that has been historical. And Casabros people move by households. It's not like one person in a family, it's mother, father, the five. There's a place in St. Croix called Casabros.
Really?
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Why?
You
It
go
was
under the
named-
big tree in Grove, that's
Okay.
Casabros.
It was named because of the.
You will.
Okay.
You are guaranteed to. No, that the younger generation from those who migrated to St. Croix, they are now in Houston.
Yes. Julie,
Because
I
most people
remember.
move in groups. So that is why a reunion is very important. And as a community, we had our first reunion in 2004, the second in 2011. We decided that every 7 years we're going to have a reunion. We were supposed to have the third in 18, but we had Maria in 17. So this is why in 2025. So we already know 7 and 5 is 2042, 2049. It's every
What?
7
Nigel?
years. It's very, very important for us because we must stay connected to pass on the tradition, let people know who their relatives are.
Interesting.
And that is why in the reunion, we're going to have a room at the school and we're putting up the photographs of those who have gone to the great beyond. So people can know who Mamado was, who was Mr. Grail, who was. So everybody, we're asking everybody who have photos of anybody who have gone, you come to that room and you can say, hey, look at Mr. Alexis, look at Council, that kind of thing. But Nigel, I just have one little short thing to say. When we raised back in the day, we ate very healthy. You walk in the stores now and you see organic. This is what we were used to. And you pay so much money. We didn't know better. When I went to St. Thomas and I went to a particular supermarket, I'm seeing black jumbo shrimps, $15.99 a pound. It's a black jumbo shrimp. Man, when you go back and I look at this in Kakadoc, What?
It's like lobster. My grandmother's husband was a fisherman, Mr. Adwe. We used to eat lobster. It's when I went
And lobster was
abroad
free.
and I'm
It's
realizing
Huma.
lobster is so expensive. And for us, lobster was like Sunday dinner,
Yeah,
you know.
lobster, Huma. Me says again, Huma. And you take the home, now lobster is king. So we ate healthy.
Yes,
You
we
want
did.
a hand of banana, the trees at the back, you just cut the hand and you leave the rest standing. No, you buy 5 bananas. Green bananas, by the time you get to your home,
It's right.
free ripe.
Interesting,
That is true.
Nigel.
That is so
Interesting.
true.
But yes, so let us look at but let's bring in Jefferson Drago though. Jeff, how often do you visit Casabros? Or do you still reside in Casabros or another part of the island?
No, I reside in another part of the island, but I visit regularly.
What do you really when you visit regularly? What do you really look forward to? When you go back to Casabros.
I look forward to meeting my friends, and I look forward to
With
going
Michael
to the garden,
with the load,
to the river, to the beach.
I want to bring up his mic.
His
His
mic.
We're not hearing Jeff.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I look forward. To going to the beach. Meeting my friends, and so on and so on. And as is the organization of the reunion, it gives me the opportunity to meet other people, to sensitize them and sell the reunion to them. In some sense, as we say, it is from August 10th to 17th, 2025, and we want to invite Dominica to Casabros. And we want to invite Casabros people at home and abroad to participate and to attend the reunion. And I mean participate.
Yeah, that's important.
It's very important. It's not for one set to do all the work. So we need Casabros people to come on board. More than they are coming on board. We need them to come on board to assist. And we want to encourage them to participate, to take part in the reunion. It is our own. Own it. take ownership of
Yeah,
the
man,
reunion.
embrace it.
Yes, embrace it. It's our reunion.
I want to add something because, as he mentioned, person's participation. I'm sure we'll be discussing the individual events of the reunion, but I do have to leave shortly. And before I go, I don't want to miss the opportunity to say that we are looking for nominees for our awards dinner and dance that we'll be having on the Friday night, which is the 15th of August. And so we're asking persons to go on our Facebook page, which is Casa Bruce Reunion 2025. So Facebook/Casa Bruce Reunion 2025. And send us your suggestions for nominees. You can post it under the flyer that's there as a comment. You can send it as a DM. You can also email us. It's the same as the Facebook name, except it's at Gmail. So it's Casabruce Reunion 2025 at gmail.com. So we want to honor persons in different categories: education, music, sports, etc., health, politics, what have you. But we want persons to contribute. We have a group in place to kind of manage that, but we don't want to forget somebody. It could be very unintentional. So if we get persons in the community to contribute those names, that would help a lot. So I just wanted to make sure we put that in
And
there.
that's good. Nigel, let's just look at the book quickly and see what's happening, the excitement. A lot of Castle Bruce people are on, Nigel. So maybe we can shout out some names.
And non-Cassie
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah,
and swear
Cassie
my
Bruce,
name
yeah.
and Sonia Williams. I see she's just saying hi to me there.
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
Nigel. So let's just say, I think, yes, Sonia Williams is saying good morning to everyone. Again, we have Cecilia Dorset is on, John Finn. So refreshing to see and hear this. Again, Nigel, Ali Mitchell.
Stokes Dry was also saying that in Casablanca there was a tournament for every sport. So
A
whether
tournament,
it's wrong, there's
interesting.
cricket, football, whatever,
Marble
there's
Hole.
a tournament for that. Who's this? Just Jodes, some passionate nostalgia resonates for Casabrucians. I have to learn that word very well now. Eh? Hey, Virginia Dura says those are the days growing up in Cassie Bruce. Victoria Williams, good morning to you as well. Florentin Mack. Hey, Andrew Carbon, nice man. Good morning to you as well. Enjoying Dominica and saying Cassie Bruce is one of the most vibrant communities. Of course, saying morning to Tony as well. That's Andrew Carbon, Tony, saying good morning as well. Carl Kofi James, greetings and blessings. George, good morning. But Elias, you're here and you're still watching. But good morning.
Well,
to you,
I
Elias
agree with you,
Francis.
Elise. I agree with you. She has to keep
But
up her role
Elias
as
Joseph,
deputy
blessed morning,
producer.
everyone. Francisca Joseph says Kakadok. Oh, Kakadok was what Lauren was talking about. Kakadok, the crayfish.
Kakadok.
Yes.
Yes.
Bookman.
Who else is on? Who else?
Yeah.
Alvin Thomas was still watching and
yeah.
saying good morning to
A lot.
everybody.
What I would like to
You
do,
still have
though,
it?
Nigel, is of course we continue the discussion. But I know for the Dominica Corner, we asked about some of the hamlets in Castle Bruce. I know we had this in the past when we had somebody from Castle Bruce on as a guest. But in terms of the last names, let's look at some of the common last names in Castle Bruce.
That is
Right.
for sure.
I mean, well, you have two of them on there.
Yes, we have two Dry Go. We have
John Finn, Dry Go.
Probably one of the most
Oh, yeah.
the common ones. Dry Go,
The
Barney.
four
Who else?
Prevo.
Prevo.
Okay.
Lockhart.
Prevo,
Lockhart.
Lockhart.
Yes.
You have John Finn,
local
Yes, John
Barney's
Finn.
Austria, Dry Go,
Austria.
John Finn.
Yes, I-
Joseph.
Joseph, yes.
Yep.
98% of people are connected to this student.
I
Wow.
connected to
Listen,
those 5 or 6.
On mother side and father side.
On
If my
father
mother
side.
was here, she would give you. I call my mother the community historian, so she would tell you. Yes, because after Maria, when all the houses mashed
Scotland
up and
too, yeah.
yes, Scotland,
Scotland,
and we were
okay.
looking
Yes, Scotland
for
is one.
people, like to give when World Bank or whoever come, they want to know who lives here, who was in this house. My mother will tell you, this is so and so house. Oh, but they're in St. Croix now. This is so and so. They're in Houston. They're in Boston.
And that's very good, eh?
This is
And
so and so's daughter.
that's good.
Yes.
And you mentioned, of course, your mother is her book will chronicle a lot of this.
Yes.
But I also wanted to ask though, and as we speak about this, are efforts being made to document, the historical aspects of the community? Of course, Lauren mentioned that there will be photos and people will get a chance to see, people who have died, people who have passed, people who have contributed. But apart from what your mother is doing, are there any like documentaries being done? How do you chronicle? How do you capture what Castle Bruce was like before, so that the younger people can know? Apart from the this reunion and things like that, anything documented that you have?
I don't know.
Lennox
Honey Church
Ayo.
did
Yeah.
we had a history night one night, and I myself learned a lot about the community, even how things were structured when it was an estate. For example, there is a church, what's the church by Maze and them there? Not the old
That was
church, 1941, the other church that's being used.
CUM?
CUM?
Okay.
So the CUM church was actually the house where the master lived. And Lennox Church said that was a presentation he did in the primary school, and he said that house was built there specifically because from that house you could see every hamlet. And why it was important was if a slave tried to escape, the master would see them. And let me tell you something, I went to a funeral after that presentation because if you don't have that context, you just go to the building and you're in the building. When I went, I literally stood outside the church and I'm like, look Jalousie, look Sen House, look Windblow, look, I'm seeing by the bay where the plants would have, the farm would have been. And I thought that was amazing. So Lennox Honey Church, I know for sure, has some information from across the decades about the community. But I think we should make some effort to have some kind of formal thing in the village, even if it's housed in the village council or digitally online.
What
So
are
that
your
might
thoughts?
be a project.
What are
So,
your thoughts, Anthony
I-
Drago? Because this falls right into your, what you do as
Yeah,
well.
so I'm going to spend a couple of minutes and talk about something that happened in Casablanca in the 70s. In 1972, CDC, the Commonwealth Development Corporation, during slavery it was Colonial Development Corporation. They owned Domlec, what is Domlec now, and all of those things. They owned the estate at Casablanca. And in 1972, Happy Martin came to Casablanca to be the estate manager, the young agronomist. And soon after he came, they asked him to fire about 50 employees. The estate employed about 150 people at the time.
And that was in 1972?
1972. And he refused to do it. And when he refused to do it, they fired him. And the workers went on strike. And they were on strike for several months. And what eventually happened is that the estate could no longer operate, so they had to sell the land to the government, and the government gave the land to the people. And that became the Casablanca Farmers Cooperative, and another cooperative that was formed called Ant Hill Farmers Cooperative, and that's how Casablanca people came. You see how I talk about all our homes are on the hills? We all live flat land and good land, agriculturally good land that belonged to the estate, and that's how Casablanca people came to own the land. And so Happy is not from Casablanca. His contribution has tremendously impacted. And subsequent to that, we had similar things happening on Geneva Estate in Granby. We had stuff happening in Riverside. The Arts Cooperative, Ayo Father was part of that. So we have a documentary that where PBS had done a documentary, and we have that as a feature hugely. Bigly, as some people would say, on the as part of the reunion, and we see this involved in the we can even call it a revolution, how they manage themselves and the cooperative and paid themselves. And going back there, it has a lot of memory because you see those men that when I was growing up, they looked like grown men, and then we look at the documentary, you see them that they were just in their 20s and 30s. So yes, there are efforts to gather those kind of recording of our history and make it more accessible to our people, so that not only people from Casablanca, but again, when we say that Casablanca has had a leadership role in Dominica, it's not, we say it in jest, but there's substance behind that. And things like that, I guess, would inform not only people from Casablanca, but also throughout the country.
Thank you for that. And especially just before you start, continue, Ayola, especially as Anthony mentioned the Farmers Cooperative. because the cooperative movement, which is incidentally celebrating, I think it's 100th anniversary around that time in August. The cooperative movement has laid the foundation for development in so many sectors in Dominica, and just to hear about this once vibrant cooperative movement, farmers movement, in Castle Bruce, that tells the story of who we are, and it goes back to this communal setting we were talking about and this Kudme and all of that. But Ayola, go ahead. It's your program. I don't know why I'm just talking too much on the Castle Bruce program.
What I wanted to mention was, as we're talking about documenting the history, we can speak to these type of highlights, I guess you would say, where these things impacted the island, the nation, and so forth. But I think another nice thing we should try to capture is how people lived, just in general, like the average person.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of stories from my grandmother and my mom as well. And I remember my mom telling me that when she gave birth to me, first of all, my birth was an event in the community, because my mom was a teacher.
It was a celebratory event or what?
Like it was,
Yeah.
it just, this example just shows you the type of community spirit it had back then. Because my mom was a teacher, right, in the primary school. And when I was born in my granny's house. And it was on a Thursday afternoon, maybe like 1 o'clock. People were coming home from lunch break or whatever. And people crowded around my granny's house, like the baby born, And my mom was saying to me, when a woman gave birth back then, the woman didn't have to do nothing. And she was saying that to me because I had just given birth to my son. So she said for the first 20, 21 days or something, she might all mention it in the chat, but something like that, 20 days, somebody come in and cook for you. Somebody come in and wash your clothes. Somebody come in and hold the baby. So like the mother literally could just rest. It's not so much like this anymore because I guess people have jobs and stuff like that. Maybe it's more done just in terms of your immediate family. Your mother will help,
Our
your
population
sister
would be
will
an
help.
increase swift. It was like that back, because I tell you.
But back in the day, it's like somebody would leave Jalousie and go send house to help a woman that just gave birth, because that was the kind of community spirit that we had back then. And I'm sure there are people who are my mom's age who remember that type of feeling, that type of love that they got from the other women, the other people in the community. And we still have some of that today.
Yes, definitely so. One of the other things that and I think Ayola, and I almost said Ayo, mentioned a while ago is nicknames, man. To me, Castle Bruce, everybody have a nickname.
Everybody have a nickname.
Yeah, Bambish. Yeah. I never call Slash, Wenceslaus.
No, Slash.
You have Ayo, you have, everybody might say Tony. Is that something that just like part of the whole Castle Bruce vibes?
I'm
Yes.
telling you, it's
Like
when a
the-
person dies
not only the-
sometimes, then
Yeah.
you're like,
Nicknames-
oh shit, that was it.
Nicknames, famous
Go
man.
ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
We are famous for nicknames though.
Yeah.
What's your nickname?
Somebody
Jeff.
that example.
Because
Jeff said-
I can recall.
Jefferson said his
There
nickname is
is
Jeff.
Yes, because
That's good.
I can recall Isidore Austri. He bought a van, man, a blue Mazda pickup, French, for a kind of bluish color, a baby blue, and he give it a name, V hand basin,
What?
because in those days we had those hand basin. You remember them? This is when it fall, it used to
Metal?
cry. Yes,
Yes.
it used to
Metal,
cry.
yes.
They used the word, it used to cry. And that was the same color of the pickup. And they began calling him Vian Basin.
Wow.
So there are things that will make you get a nickname. Added to that, there are other surnames that we didn't
Sure,
mention,
tell us.
like Edwards
That's a
James.
common surname?
and
Okay.
Dubik, because I noticed that Jeff Dubik is on. And let us welcome him.
Welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
Yes. And Tony, you were saying it for the nicknames.
Coverage is in
Yeah,
Sweden.
some of the nicknames, for example, everybody know Crashers, right? You know why
Yeah.
he crash a vehicle every week? His name is Crashers.
Crashington. Crashington, we call him, yes.
Washington.
Yes.
But
That's a
But
name
not,
for me.
but not only that, the hamlets like Windblow. Windblow is a settlement that happened after Hurricane David.
Yes.
Destroyed a lot of the homes, and people went in that area and did makeshift homes, and it became Windblow. Dark end is because we didn't have electricity, and that corner of Castle Bruce was just always darker than the rest. So we call it dark end.
And on the snow.
About snow, that area for whatever reason always was a degree or two
Colder.
chillier than the rest of Castlebrooks.
But
They call it
that.
snow, on the snow. And so on, Tipia is a big rock in the sea. There was a big rock and there's a smaller rock. So the area where the small rock is called Tipia. And I'll give you a funny story before I give you back the mic.
Sure.
One time this guy came to Castlebrooks with an official document and he's looking for somebody named Arthur Alexander.
Arthur Alexander.
Nobody in the village knows Arthur Alexander. You sure it's Castlebrooks? He said, yes, it's Castlebrooks. Eventually, he make his way to Mr. Austrie shop. And Mr. Austrie used to have a guy driving his truck for him. But everybody knew him as Atta.
I know. I get the story. I like
Everybody
that.
knew him as
Yes.
Atta, but the guy's name is Arthur Alexander.
Yes. I like that.
Arthur. Atawi.
Arthur Alexander.
But the R50 before.
Yeah. And that is common in a lot of communities, you know. Because Nigel, I'm not sure if you remember, I was telling you that once, my grandmother, when she died, I realized that her name was really Marcella. Because she used to be called Marcella, you know.
That happens a lot.
Yes, I because I know you have to go soon. So
yes.
go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. I want to make a shameless plug. Nothing to do with Castlebrooks, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. It's for my dad, Simon George.
I know very early you sent me a message. Was it very early or late last night?
Very late, I know. He is the guy who does the turtle tours. Most people would know him from that at Rosalie Beach. He sleeps there every night, guarding the turtles and stuff. So tomorrow he's having a book launch. He partnered with a photographer from the US. They created a eco photo course book that they're launching at the Peace Park, which is just above Rosalie Bay Resort. So if anybody is free on Father's Day, come and get a book for your father and come and learn about turtle conservation and about photography and how you can use photography to promote conservation and peace and harmony. Thank you.
Trust you to plug that in. And I agree with you. That's why Yola is.
Hey, it's
That's why
Father's
Yola
Day.
is.
I gotta
Yes.
try to, wrap up the promotion for my dad. So, yeah.
But as if Lauren quiet, Nigel.
I gotta go.
You remember when we had Lauren the very first time? That set the stage for wonderful things to come. You remember?
You have to understand, Lauren giving them their moment.
Well, Nigel, when it comes to the reunion, I'm an elder. I've graduated to elder status. So that's fine. But I'm happy that they still tolerate me on the committee because as the person who birthed the idea of Castlebrooks reunion, it's good that they respect their elders.
Okay,
Right.
Nigel,
So let them have their say.
Let them have
and they
their
will.
moment.
don't be fooled by Lauren contributed to the whole thing.
Yes. And we're going to talk about the actual reunion a little bit. I just want to mention this from Hyacinth Thomas, who says, "Good morning, my people. Great program. You guys are making me emotional as I think of Dada, my Baba, my grandmother who lived the longest, 108 years. Just say Baba and CB." And she says, "Tony, you remember darlings as well." So just wanted to mention that. Catherine Janice. Hey, by the way, Catherine Janice, later now, I got the thing for you, the package, so we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Wonderful culture, interesting way of life. This was carried out in Castlebrooks and other places in Dominica. Of course, Marsling Edwards, great show last week. Diaspora wants to say good morning to Tony and everybody else, so appreciate that. But yes, I mean the reunion. So one of the things that Castlebrooks is also famous for, apart from is music and sports, right? So is that going to be a central part of the activities for reunion? Do we have any special musical thing with Breaker and Slash and all the other musicians from Castlebrooks? Is there a night just for music? Let's get into some of the events for the reunion.
Ivone, I don't know if you can give Breaker a plug there.
Okay.
And
I
if
did.
it means you send us the bill later.
Yes,
but
Nigel. So Breaker wanted me to do an ad. I did something. I'm trying to remember where I have it though. So
I sent it to you this morning.
you sent it to me this morning. Okay. Let me see if I
All
got
right,
it.
so we'll find that ad and Breaker.
But definitely,
yes.
we'll be having a sports day. Grand. It's a family affair. Grand sports day. And we want to highlight the traditional games. Needle and thread, lime and spoon, sack race. You know, let the younger generation, it will be a blend of the current sporting disciplines plus what we grew up knowing. So it will be a blend, and we have this huge playing field in Castle Bruce, so we have the sport for that. So sports will play a pivotal role in that. That's where you have all the fun. So rounders, cricket, dominoes, football, a little of everything.
I love
Sack
everything.
race, lime and spoon, needle and thread. And we will be contributing the spoon because, some people can come with the deep spoons. So the spoons will be at a standard. So, and the limes. So we'll choose the limes as the committee and the spoons, and then you come with that. But it will come with your deep spoon.
Your deep spoon.
And no matter even if you fall, the lime's still in the spoon. And of course, lots of prizes and surprises, Yes.
And
Nigel, you want
Culture is
Lauren,
big.
added to
Jem,
that.
go ahead.
Added to that.
Was that Tony?
I was wondering, we wanted to go through the whole program of activity.
Yes. We
Yes,
can do
yes.
that. We can
Yes.
do that. Yes, we
No,
can
but
go through the program
added to
since
what-
August 10th to the 17th.
Yeah. Added to
Yes.
what Lauren was saying there.
Here's the PR. You have to step
we
out
dealt
of
with
the- Jeff, you have-
Huh?
I have it to me if you want to go.
Yes. Added
Okay.
to what Lauren was saying, there's also going to be a domino festival on that day too. This sport on the sports day, we'll be having a domino festival also. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. All right. On the 10th, Nigel, which is the opening, there's an ecumenical service. That's what we're starting off with. With all, Castle Bruce was the center of the religion.
Of all the churches. Yeah.
I didn't know, but the Bible school where they trained a lot of the missionaries and ministers for the region was at Castle Bruce, was at Bajogota. That's another hamlet you didn't know about. Bajogota.
Yes,
We had a Bible school, and a lot of the people. So there's a lot of religions and churches there. So, ecumenical service that's going to be held, and then the official opening ceremony. And that night, on Sunday night, bang into our culture and the music, we have a gospel concert. That's Sunday the 10th. On the 11th, we have a symposium where we will have, Castle Bruce has produced a lot of Son of the Soils who are working at high level internationally and also still locally and in the village. So we have a symposium where we have workshops and panel discussions all day starting at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we'll be talking about food security and entrepreneurship and financing and our water and health and all of those things. We have folks like our doctors, Don Esprit and so on, who will contribute. Dr. Colmore Christian, we're hoping he has his PhD in forestry. Dr. Maxime Vigilant, environmental health. So a lot of sons of the soil, and some of our sponsors are also hoping to participate as well in that symposium. That's on Monday, and then on Monday night we have a cultural night. Our Lady of Culture, Marianne is
Jonathan.
hoping we're inviting cultural individuals and groups from the Kalinago territory all the way to Piditsufere to be part of that, that cultural night. On Tuesday, we are giving the Étranger a time to see Dominica, so it is island tours. We're organizing various island tours so they can go out and spread outside of Castle Bruce. And those that don't want to go, we're going to do a walking tour of Castle Bruce. So when I want to talk about coming and learning the hamlets, you guys can come on the island tour and that's on Tuesday. And in the evening that time, we have a Compa, Zouk, and Kadas and oldies show. Because some of the things that people don't know, Castle Bruce was into the French music a long time before Zouk became popular. Because a lot of our folks used to migrate to Marie-Galante. And when they come back, they would come back with a lot of French music. So folks that had their loudspeaker system on a weekend would be blasting compa music and French music. So it's part of Castle Bruce fabric, that French connection in terms of the music. On Wednesday, we start very early with a cardio jam, get your fitness going, and we have a health fair. General health, but we also we have a couple of dentists who have really good international practice in the US. They're hoping to come and to put on a dental clinic. as well as an eye clinic as part of the health fair. And of course, the usual people can come and check their blood sugar, their blood pressure, get some information and so on. We have at least 2 doctors that I know who are nephrologists, so they specialize in kidney health, and so they'll be doing presentations as well and be part of the health fair. At that same day, we'll be going in around the village to folks who are not healthy enough to get out of their house and to provide some service to them, as well as some care packages. And this is a good place for me to pause and tell folks, we would need your contribution to be able to put together those care packages that we can leave for those folks. We'll be giving them a haircut, a hairdo, with some toothpaste, with some sanitary supplies with them, and those type of things. So we don't want them to be left out. So we'll be visiting them as well. And in the night we'll have an open mic. So the stage Union Village will be open 24/7 for that entire week. So we have the stage, but that night we're going to have an open mic. So anybody that think you have a girl in the village that you want to tell you love her a long time, you can come to a poem. That used to be
your chance.
that used to be a big part of Casablanca. When we used to have our film, guys used to go and send requests over the loudspeaker to their crush, to the front. We used to go read that. You pay 10 cents and they read out your special dedication. So we have an open mic where people can come and drum or sing or that sort of thing, and that's on Wednesday night. Okay, on Thursdays is a sports day, and Jeff talked about the dominoes. They're going to be a big part of that. Lauren talked about lime and spoon, and so on. We'll have a little competition, maybe 10 over matches between the diaspora and the local guys, basketball competition, and so on. I grew up in Castle Bruce, and Sophie said it correct. We used to have leagues in Castle Bruce: football league, cricket league, basketball league, rounders league, among the various hamlets. And we used to have big organized leagues in Castle Bruce. That used to happen. We used to have some cheerleaders, Siam and these other people. When you see their team and they on the hill under the flamboyant tree celebrating 6 runs or 4 runs, it was just something to the spectacle. And so that sports day is going to happen. And the night, Niger, we have an interesting thing. House parties was something that we did well. And so we're going to have various house parties. I think 4 or 5 of them. Different people come from the different, some of the hamlets group together. Obviously, we have 20 hamlets, so we can have 20. But some of the hamlets that border each other come together, and you're going to have a house party. And so guests will just come and be served with food and drinks and so on at the house party. So I think we have one in Senhouse, one in Jalousie, one in Free Corners, one in Sikwi, and I think the Toronto people want to have one as well. Hermit is going to have one on the stretch. So 5 or 6 house parties. So you can just go party hopping that night. So that's a Thursday night. Then we have an elegant, the night of elegance, our dinner and dance banquet, our attire is black and gold. And that's where we're going to be giving awards and recognition to the folks who continue to carry the torch and to contribute to the life of the people in the village. For those who have passed on, we're hoping that we can unveil a banner that just highlights their names and say what their contribution was. My mom used to do early education. Almost everybody from Casablanca went to Mahenoch preschool, and then they ended up managing the banks at National Bank and Royal Bank and running all the things in Roseau. They got their start in my mother's preschool, Casablanca preschool. Closely affiliated with the social center. She used to go there for the workshops and the training and come bring it back to Casablanca. So we're recognizing people like that, not just unveiling them on a banner of some kind, but the folks who are still active and who are still contributing. We want to recognize them at that banquet dinner and actually give them an award. And Swinging Stars will provide the music for the dance. And we have a couple of musicians from Casablanca, guys that do jazz and different things that will also provide entertainment during the dinner and dance. A night of elegance, black and gold, that's on Friday night. Friday is a free day, by the way. Folks can go to Roseau and see what they need to see. And although I don't think anybody wants to leave, but you never know. right? In case somebody has something that's burning in their pocket and they need to go do the release it somewhere. Friday is your free day. You come back in time in the night time for the banquet. Saturday is Juve, Lapo Cabrit and Juve. Starting at 5 a.m. or even earlier. You know, Castle Bruce always was big on carnival, and we had our bandsmen, Mr. Sonny Band and Mr. Luis Band, and we would be practicing. We would go to the band house and practice for a month before carnival, and we would make songs and so on. It was huge. And the people from the Kalinago territory used to come down and go for Castle Bruce with their band Move. And so carnival was always big in Castle Bruce. So we have a Juve, and then you go directly into Market Day.
Hold on, Tony.
Uh-huh.
The Juve has a theme.
Oh, yes.
It's P&P, pajama and powder.
Oh. That's the one I okay, that's the one I'll be there.
Nah,
So you come.
Nigel will bring
with
mine for me.
90 duster, pajama and your powder. That's what we need.
P&P.
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
Tony, go ahead. P&P, pajama and powder.
Thank you for that, Lauren. And as a matter of fact, what I would tell folks is that when you come to Castle Bruce on Friday, plan not to go back until Sunday. Because when you hit the from Juve, we go into Market Day where you get your coconut water, your sauce, your black pudding, whatever it is. And then we morph that into a beach day where we have a broth competition. Folks will be cooking broth and you'll be judging who has the best broth and serving folks. Our vendors will be roasting breadfruit and all of that. And then in the evening, we have a lot of international stars that were born in Castle Bruce. International, regional, and some of them local. We'll be having a big concert with those people. Breaker will be the headliner on that. But we also have, you know, younger guys like Big Step and some of the other guys performing at that international stars competition.
Is LaSalle was making a comeback? Are they going to be there at the event?
Sure.
Here as Joe, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And of course we invited Ecstasy Band to be part of that as well, because we invite all of Dominicans, so we cater in for everybody, not just people from Castle Bruce. And so we anchoring it with Ecstasy Band. So that's why I'm saying when you come Friday, you're not leaving.
Yeah. Dr. Maxime Vigilant is going to be there.
Yeah. And then on Sunday,
Nigel, look activities.
Traditionally, Castle Bruce Feast is on August 15th. That's why we chose that week. Chenzawu. We say Chenzawu. People like go to Guadeloupe and say Chenzawu, but it's the 15th of August is our village feast. We usually celebrate it on the weekend that it is closer to. So it will be celebrated on that day, the 17th. So that's village feast. We'll just be festive for the whole day throughout the village. We have a Creole service, a Creole mass at 10 a.m. And we'll have an expo where folks can display their craft, their wares, their services, everything in the expo. And we have a last lap with Triple K and some of our other musicians as well, closing out the reunion. And so we'll be one tired but very happy and ecstatic people.
Yes.
On the morning of the 18th.
Nigel, we have to be in that.
That is
man.
Just let us know and we'll reserve your room.
Yes. Well, Irma will always Irma Lockhart will give me my room for sure. So
Tony, hello.
Because it's a one-way to Castle Bruce. You're only allowed to go in on Friday.
So you cannot come out.
It's Sunday evening or Monday morning. That's it.
So Nigel, no connecting the doors. Nigel will take the equipment and we'll have connects in the doors up there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
And they get the room set up first.
Yeah.
Let me say this.
It's for a weekend. You come into Castle Bruce for a weekend.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay. Let's hear Jefferson now.
Let me say this.
Yes. Just also wants to mention that there's going to be
added to this program.
Financial literacy session.
Yeah.
Which will be organized by the youth on Friday morning as well.
Okay, so Jefferson is adding more again.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, added to the program. There'll be other programs, other activities.
Wow.
Aligned with that as we go along. It will get better as you go along. It is going to get better. We have a car and bike show on Sunday.
Just imagine that.
There'll also be a car and bike show on Sunday. As an addition to what is existing here. right? So as we go along, there'll also be other bands.
That's
and
more than a
DJs.
reunion. That's a
Yeah.
festival. Eh?
There'll be other
Yeah,
bands.
but
And you know,
festival by
parking is
itself.
not a problem in Castlebrooks. Parking is not a problem.
There'll be other bands and
That's for
DJs
sure.
also as we go along. It will be enhanced. It will get better as we go along.
What?
But Jeff, as a policeman, I can well imagine that security is going to have to play a very key role in that, right?
Yes, security. That's taken care of.
The Reunion Village
The
will be well
security, the
secured.
police is on board. So
Wow.
All right, wonderful. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys though is in terms because a lot of times when you have those reunions, you have kids who were not born in Castlebrooks. You have families who coming back who may have never been to Castlebrooks, but of course, you know, their mom, their dad, their grandfather, whatever it is. To those kids coming from foreign, are there any plans of engaging them in any of those activities?
By the way, Lauren, before you answer, you'll give me a cue as to when you want me to air this. All right, what you sent.
Okay. Yes.
You'll give an indication.
We will be talking about the International Artist Night, and I want you to play this thing. If it means DBS, send us a bill, but it's important. Nigel, in terms of the children who will be returning, what we actually want them to do is to learn what their parents went through. For example, Dr. John Vane, who has a PhD in education, if you listen to his story of now you have a high school in Castlebrooks, you sleep at your parents' home, you go down the road to school, you come back home. I mean, you had to leave Castlebrooks and go maybe for a whole month in Roseau. And then every week your mother had to send a bag of food to whoever you lived with. It was tough. I remember Lazo, for example, said he would study under the lamp pole in Pottersville. So now children have to understand how good they have it. They have a vehicle or a bus to take them to school. Everything is at their fingertips. No, these people, role models, have struggled and succeeded. There's no reason why you, as a young person in this day and age, we may not be all academics, but you can learn a trade, you can do some, but they have to hear these stories. Dr. John Finn, for example, he did not have money to pay the truck. And then he removed his school shirt, put on an old shirt. And when the truck reached Poker says, when they're taking their money, you know, because if they went there, everybody hop off and run. And then he was coming back from school and he didn't have money to pay, so he changed to an old with thick stains and those kind of things. And the driver was my uncle, Francois Barnes, and he said to him, I know you're coming from school. It's okay, you don't have to pay me. And these are things you remember for life. So the young people now must hear these stories because it's so different now. They have it made. And these people struggled. Before, everybody couldn't go to high school. And they always said you have another chance and you have to have a certain color or your hair have to be a certain length to work at a bank. It's different. They need to hear those stories so they will feel that, yeah, I can make it too. If Mr. go through that, I can make it too. You understand? So that is what we want to do. Show them. Now you have a washing machine, you know, and the washing machine is in your house. Before you had to go by the river, and as I used to say, have that white ring around your foot. All day you stand up in the river, and 12 o'clock, they send your lunch for you. Now you just put that in the washing machine. There's a dryer next to it. Close dry.
I want to relate to
You
that
have
one.
to be looking out over the island to see if rain
coming.
or laplica it over, and you have to run and pick that up. So you have to make it fun. You have to make it fun. Young people, the stories must be fun.
I can relate
You
to
know,
those
even for
struggles
the
there.
Juve, there were certain calypsos that were made. Some of them we have to choose. Some people, you know, can be offensive, but we have to relive those times. You understand? With the drums. You understand? So
Love way,
the
and the calling of
calypso
people
was
names.
something that transpired during the year, and they would sing about it. Only on Carnival Monday or Tuesday after that you can call anybody name.
But I think Jefferson was also making a
The
point.
system. They have to know where my parents came from. Yes, we do not live in Dominica, but these are the sacrifices, these are the struggles, so that they can appreciate who they are and what they have now.
Jefferson, you were making a
No,
point as well?
I was
Because
saying
somebody
I can relate to what Lauren is saying. The struggle that we went through when we were going to school in town. Right, Tuesday, a whole month in town before you go home and those kind of things. That's why I want to encourage Castlebrooks people abroad to come on board, attend this reunion. My entire family, for sure, is coming down. My mom, my brothers, Mike, Linda, Petu, Lenny, Vanos, all of them, they're coming down. So we want to encourage...
Like a family reunion.
A family reunion, because I want to encourage people to encourage your families to attend the reunion, because it will be great. It will be good.
Nigel, I tell you. Nigel, we'll have our meeting then after that.
And
So
I
we can
tell-
discuss.
I have an appeal to employers. You know, sometimes, you see, this happens once every 7 years. I want to particularly talk to employers. Give people the time off that they need to attend an event like that. Approve the vacation. Approve the time off. Because it's not something that happens every day or every year. This is going to make the person healthier and more productive on the job. So approve their time off. Approve their vacation. Do not wait last minute or say it's not approved. When you do not approve a person's vacation to attend a function like this, you're going to have an unhealthy employee.
Very unhappy employee.
Unhealthy, unhappy, grumpy, and,
Yes.
and not producing for you on the job. So from July, you tell the person apply. Yes,
Yeah.
of course, because the person is going to contribute to a community. They're going to empower themselves. They're going to rejuvenate. That's what you want on the job. Somebody who is happy. And so do not press a person because you have a pen in your hand and you can say yes or no. Say yes.
Right?
I tell before we go, you see the huge lineup of activities that we have. I mean, and some of those activities are paid, of course, because we have to pay the bands, we have to pay the artists and so on. And so if we add up the cost of all of those things, it adds up into the hundreds. So what we've done is we've put together a package where you can get a week-long pass that will give you admissions into most of those things. And if you do it before, I think tomorrow is supposed to be our deadline, but we can extend it to the end of June. If you can buy a week-long pass for just $150, and it will give you access to all of the activities, the banquets, the concerts, the house parties. You have a hand band that can take you through all of that. And we have a Mo Banking account where folks can send their contribution and then send email, and we would know they do it. Or you can go to islandeventtickets.com, islandeventtickets.com, and you can buy your week-long pass. If you do it before the end of June, you will be you'll get a week-long pass for $150. And we're also going to add, I already asked the guys to do it, to put up little tags like tickets where if you cannot come, or even if you come in and you want to help us in terms of getting some funds, because all of those things, the expenses are in advance, we'll put on like a $20 tip tag, a $50 tag, a $100 tag, and you can just purchase one of them as your contribution towards the reunion. So maybe by tomorrow it will be on islandeventtickets.com, islandeventtickets.com. Or you can, Jeff, do you have the Mo Banking stuff in front of you? If not, I can look for it.
No, I haven't got it.
All right. So why is they looking for that Mo Banking stuff? But from what you've described, it appears that a lot of planning had to go into this reunion thing. And you've probably been planning it for a while, and the committee, are there others on the committee that's been helping to put this together and the planning stages and everything else? Why is it get the Mo Banking information?
Well, Carlton Dungaben, I talk about the diaspora, and Jeff will mention those on the ground, okay? Carlton Dungaben was central. He's the one that called me and said, hey, Tony, we're organizing. Do you want to get involved? Lauren, of course, Jacinta Banis is there every time. Felicia Lloyd. I start calling names, I'm going to forget people. But
we always say, chances are you might miss out somebody. Tony didn't call me,
Joseph.
Every Friday night at 7 p.m., we have a committee meeting. And we've been doing that for months. Well, we're going through, and we get contributions in terms of ideas from a lot of folks as well. but we have a core committee that meets once a week, putting this together. The mobile
and just very quickly, Alex Banis is also asking to mention whether you mentioned some funds and money, whether it's US or EC.
Yeah,
the 150 week pass and so on, and the tags and so, is that US or EC?
US.
Okay.
Just because.
So Alex is US.
Just because the credit card and those things that you would use to pay for it is on an American account.
Right.
Those numbers are US numbers.
Right.
Mobile.
Let me also say good morning to Cecilia Ilwa, who tells Loshi aggressive Lauren to approve the vacation. Edward Lewis from Virgin Islands. Cuthbert Joseph, by the way, says good morning. He's all the way in Sweden and he's listening from Casibros, obviously. Yes, more banking.
Jeff, you got it, or I have it if you haven't got it?
No,
So the more banking, to do your more banking, the user identification is 555-3364. 555-3364. And the account number is 2000, so 2 and 4 zeros, 406.
All right.
406.
And
missing a
I
number?
know
Tony?
you're about to debut one ad. You're
Tony,
about to
you missing a number?
a premiere for ad that's going to come through just now.
Nigel, Jeff is correct.
Okay.
Jeff,
Okay, Jeff.
You're missing a number now?
Yes, Lauren, you tell me when.
200 4067. Is 4067?
4067. Yeah.
Okay, say the number again. Say the number again.
Jeff, go ahead.
20000 4067.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff, for catching that.
Yes, and so Lauren will indicate to you when she wants that ad to be played, right? That's the whole idea.
Do that now.
So Lauren, when you're ready, give us the thumbs up for the ad.
Before
ready, you know.
hold on, before the ad, Lauren, I want to mention the community members in Dominica.
Dominica, oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have Malcolm Abraham, you have Lorna Prevost Stevens, Elma Boland, Iola George, Marian John Finn, Jovin Joseph, Kenrick Liquent, Octavia Bonney, Ostel Lockhart, Livia Edwards. These are the people on the ground in Casibros.
Okay.
Some of the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, someone is asking on the
No.
live, is it possible to put it in the chat? So I guess that's the number. So
The account number, yes.
So one of you
I
should
guess
put
one
this,
of
yes.
you can put in, if
Yes,
you
Lauren.
log onto the Facebook,
Yeah.
you can put in the that account information for them in the chat. So I think Lauren has given the
Yes,
thumbs up
Papa.
for the premiere.
Where's my voice
Yeah,
then, Nigel?
it's
So
a free.
block your ears. There's my voice, and
Your voice. So
that's not really my thing. I'm more on the jumpy side of things. I had to mellow it down a little. Whoosh, but for my good friend Breaker. Yeah, so here goes. When the Castle Bruce Reunion 2025 gets off the ground from August 10 to August 17, guess who will be performing on the International Artist Night on August 16?
You supposed to guess now?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. Something.
Well,
is-
no, I think you pause so we can guess and then.
I don't know. I really don't know what happened. Something.
That's what
is
happens.
not-
You say guess so we pause because you guess. And if you can't guess, then you continue. So you'll continue after like a week.
Lauren, you sure you send me everything, Lauren? Okay, let's
Alright,
keep.
why
We'll
carry
fix
on?
it up. We'll fix it up. So
Okay.
let's continue.
You will fix it up. You fix it up. But Lauren, I want you to ask you though, because you said it's every 7 years. Is there a reason why it's every 7 years you're having this thing? Was there any, or is just something that
Well,
just
lucky seven, lucky seven. As,
Okay.
But you see, if you go to Castle Bruce this year, somebody is a baby. 7 years time they'll be 7. Next time they'll be 14. So we want to leave a little span.
A little
It's a
space
reunion,
to see,
so a little
right,
space.
okay,
Yeah, so you see a
okay.
little change. Yeah, but the ad that Ivona is trying to play, we have Lord Breaker, and by now I'm hoping that everybody knows the great Lord Breaker,
Oh yeah.
whose name is Greg Barnes.
When the
He's
Castle-
from Castle Bruce.
Yes. Greg Breaker, crazy. No, I don't
Even-
crazy, not crazy.
You
not
see the
crazy.
younger generation.
Okay, let me see if it will play now, Lauren.
Okay,
Let's
go
just see if
ahead.
it
Go ahead,
just stick up
Ivona.
in there. Let's see. when the Castle Bruce Reunion 2025 gets off the ground from August 10 to August 17. Guess who will be performing on the International Artist Night on August 16?
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Greg Breakabanis is coming home to share his rich talent. Castle Bruce, get ready. Castle Bruce Family and Friends Reunion 2025 is on August 10 to August 17. C'est Place Nou. All the hamlets in this beautiful and vibrant community, get ready. Jalousie, Windblow, Sandhouse, Tranto, Bayside, Deepa, and the others. Wherever you are, in or out of Dominica, come represent. Remember, August 10 to August 17, c'est Place Nou. Tell them again, Greg Breakabanis, before you make your way home.
I'm coming back to your rivers and banana fields. Where I grew up, it was so real.
Yeah, that's it.
Man, I could feel it.
Yeah, we'll
I
fix it up.
can feel the vibe.
Yes. He is so excited. Actually, he's actually in Germany now performing. He would have joined us today, but he's on stage as we speak in Germany. But just to refresh people's minds, I'm going to just say 5 of his songs. Okay? So we have Lovely Dominica. Lovely Dominica, that's Breaker. We have Pray for the Black Man. Man, we got him Castle Bruce, another thing, he sang another song, Point Michelle Girls, that popular song. Point Michelle Girls. Sweet, sweet, sweet in their wave. And that on Mother's Day, you must hear this song, Mama. No, 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 Mama, my Mama. And Hit Me With Music, and Ma John Levy. So come and just immerse yourself, and we'll take you back in time, and you'll see how you will leave Castle Bruce rejuvenated.
I mean, the mere fact that Breaker, Nigel, will be back home to perform in his community. I mean, this is big. This is huge.
This is huge, man. This is huge.
And yes, Lauren mentioned some of the songs. Of course, he has some other songs as well, some big songs. He wrote a song for me, by the way, not too long ago.
Yes.
I had it played on radio because you know me. But yeah, he wrote a song for me. Very good song, Cool as a Cucumber.
Yes,
that's
cool
what he calls it.
Well,
Yeah.
I know you almost from Castle Bruce.
No, I have a lot of friends from Castle Bruce. I can tell you that much. I used to visit Castle Bruce very often before, when Damas Challenger, was alive, and Uma Lockhart is my very close friend as well. I went to school with a lot of, people from Castle Bruce, right in my class. I read in Scotland, and the list goes on a lot, so yeah, there's a tie somewhere.
Yes. So we're going.
So we're going. Nigeria, we're going home.
Yeah, we're going home.
Yeah. Tom and Jerry.
You're going home.
Tom and Jerry going home.
Lauren already said she have a room for us, so we're going home. That's okay. Yeah. We are not to worry about the accommodation. We're safe. We're set.
But it's really wonderful. I mean, Nigel, just listening to this, and I mean, we have had guests in the past talk about reunions, but there's something different about Castle Bruce. I don't know what it is yet. Probably at the end of the program, when I go back to listen to some of the things, I'll get it. But there's something different. It could be that we have had a lot of Castle Bruce people on the program on Connected Adults already, Nigel. It could be that. So there's a close affinity with Castle Bruce. But I mean, I have to say hats off to you all. I'm not sure how it will. The important thing is how it will be executed. But hats off to you all for organizing
in terms of what has been planned and the activities. But Tony, in terms of reunions, I mean, how important do you see, and Lauren and Jeff as well, how important do you guys see reunions?
Yeah.
This is going to be a third, fourth edition, but Castle Bruce reunion. At the end of it all, though, what you're hoping that this reunion can do for Castle Bruce?
Great question.
Whether Castle Bruce itself or those who are outside of. What are you hoping this does for you guys?
So, Nigel, on several fronts, the reunion, we hope will achieve a few things. For one thing, one of the biggest resources of any country, any community is people. and of course
Yes, Sandra, I can run my mouth in.
that resource that
No, boy.
when we leave and we go,
I even sing it for them.
If we
Lauren,
can hear Lauren speaking maybe to somebody
when
else.
when we leave and we go, we learn and we grow. And so the reunion is an effort for us to reconnect back and to bring some of those resources back, and to open doors for the young people who are coming back to us. So because Dominica has a very rich diaspora, but somehow we've not been able to crack the code for the country to benefit appropriately and adequately from all the resources that we have out there. And it's from want of a willingness, right? Because you talk to anybody in diaspora, the first they say, "But if I win a lottery, I will do this for Dominica, I will do that for Dominica." You talk to Dominicans and they always look to the diaspora to help. Somehow we've not been able to provide a bridge that can connect that resource to the need. And so if the reunion can start to lay some of the bricks to build that bridge, then we will have achieved a lot.
Great.
Beautiful, yes. Because I always feel that, when you have those activities, especially where you have cross generations, you have people from, different age groups and so on coming together, they can learn, and then we can share skills and hopefully take it on to the next level. So definitely hoping that this reunion can do that as well.
But what is the biggest movement now, though, Anthony Drago? Earlier you mentioned the Farmers Cooperative. So this was thriving back in the day in Castle Bruce. What is happening those days with, the young people in terms of arts and craft and things like that? Apart from the dance, yes, we know about the dance and the cultural heritage that's been upheld in Castle Bruce. But as far as the young people, what is happening in Castle Bruce?
So as part of the symposium, we had a big emphasis on that, to really make the presentations at the symposium be relevant to the future of Castle Bruce and the future of the young people in Castle Bruce. So that's why we have topics like entrepreneurship and financing and so on. And you have people like Billy Sanderson, who's hoping to showcase his idea for a project that involves agriculture and livestock to really try to encourage and introduce that to the young people. In Castle Bruce, we have a few folks from Castle Bruce who are leading in the Ministry of Agriculture in those regards. And so we're hoping to engage them and have them involved and bring it back into the community. So the idea is that even if the reunion, we get the nostalgia, we want to make sure that we understand. And that's why a big part of the organizing, there's a huge group on the ground that's doing some of the organizing, because we wanted to make sure that whatever we do is relevant, because I can have my own idea based on what I remember from Castle Bruce, but make sure that it is relevant today. And Jeff and the rest of the committee on the ground has been doing a very outstanding job to make sure that we're grounded from that point of view. And so we're hoping that, for example, I'll give you an example, Ivonia. The village right now is struggling with water, pipe-borne water. But Castle Bruce is one of the villages that has the most rivers. We probably have 5 or 6 significant rivers in Castle Bruce. I'm a water engineer, so I will be doing a presentation at the symposium on water and exploring what can we do to solve the water situation in Dominica, so that when people open their pipe, then they can expect water to flow. And so that's just another example of how we hope to really use the resources that has come out of Castle Bruce, developed, and now Castle Bruce needs us to be able to contribute in that kind of way.
Oh,
Excellent, man. I love that. I really love the whole practicality, if you want.
So it's not just a good time, Nigel. Not only a water, not just a seawall. That will come. But
that's the part that I like. Yeah, definitely. So I love that. Now I see that you mentioned the theme is family and friends. Part of it says Castle Bruce reunion, family and friends. Is that also because you are inviting others who are probably not from Castle Bruce but have some kind of Castle Bruce connection, the Kalinago territory, other people who've either worked in Castle Bruce, taught in Castle Bruce?
As that self in Nigeria,
the whole
so
idea
we can get a
behind
pass. Nice.
Yes.
I'll let Jeff or Lauren take that one.
Jeff
Yes,
O'Lory.
Well,
Jeff
yes.
O'Lory, so the
Yes.
family and friends part of it.
Remember,
The friends part is that inviting
is-
others
yeah.
and so on.
His family and friends. Castlebrose stretches to Dominica. We have a lot of Castlebrose people around Dominica, Roseau, and these areas. Nigel, you're a fish you have been a fish in Castlebrose.
Oh,
you see.
yes.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Like Carbon, teacher Carbon.
Mm-hmm.
These people have been fishes in Castlebrose.
Yes.
They have
They're
shaped,
crooking me, you know.
they have
I know
shaped the
he-
youth, you know.
he-
They
yeah.
have shaped the youth
Yeah, he has
through
his house
education
there.
and those things. So that's why I was saying we want to link up the symposium on investment opportunities.
That's interesting.
Looking at the cocoa industry. We have Afi, a young farmer who have gone into cocoa production. And we want to use the symposium, ideas from the symposium to enhance his cocoa industry. So these are the kind of things we are looking for. More meaning. We want the reunion to have a lot of meaning and purpose, and involving a lot of young people. And that's where the investment opportunities comes in. We want certain stakeholders to come on board so that we can provide our own investment opportunities to create employment for the youth.
Interesting. I was following Facebook just recently, and I saw this Barney's Farm Products. In fact, I'm following Barney's Farm Products.
Yes.
Is this based in Castlebrose? I guess the last name would just say yes.
Yeah.
But
Adrian Banks, I think.
oh, okay. So that is very, very, very good. Nigel, after the program, you must take a look at this, what they're doing. You know, also a lot is
Definitely,
happening.
definitely.
Barney's Farm Products.
Yes. Yes, Lauren.
Yeah, we have a policy with our reunion. It's the Castlebrose family and friends. Because our policy, no one left behind. So if we just say family and you're not from Castlebrose, you might feel, but yeah, do you have anyone from Castlebrose? I'm not going there. It's for family and friends of Castlebrose.
Okay.
There are people from Castlebrose who got married to somebody who's not from Castlebrose. You're welcome. It's an open, embracing, and policy.
Plugging
No,
that for yourself, man.
no, Mackie's from Castlebrose. Mackie's from Dark End.
Yeah.
What dark any from?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a dark end too, but you'll never
so
mention
that's
dark
your
end.
market.
Is no one left behind?
So
All
dark
I
end.
invited.
Wait, man. Wait. I want Mackie back now.
Okay.
So Mackie was in dark end, and he come up jalousie because he couldn't see anybody in dark end. but he
We were in
see- okay,
Roseau.
right.
I was Murphy's Lane and he was
Give
Jubilee
him the
Lane.
story.
So, and the court was between us. He used to play basketball, I used to play dead ball. So it was good. Real
Story,
Samantha.
more
I wrote
purpose.
that.
All right, I
Nice.
can't it was Bambish. Go
Yeah,
continue.
that's it. So really, it's no one left behind. So we want everybody to feel welcome. Come and experience Castlebrose.
What day?
Because
What?
when growing up, Chains Awu, which is our village feast, was the biggest thing ever. Everybody would come to Castlebrose. There would be a fair that Sunday. So we have extended the invitation for the entire week. You will come, but bring your overnight bag on Friday to leave on Sunday about 3 a.m. or Monday morning. So it's Castlebrose all the way, August 10th to 17th, every night. And the Reunion Village will not be
Always
closing.
open. And that's good.
And we'll have
That's good.
stores, we'll have food. Come and get cheap. Come, bras, panties. Come and get toothpaste. Come,
What?
cheap.
And the reunion village is
Look,
gonna be where?
I've wondered
Google on the flag.
there'll also be a book launch.
Look, he's telling me about a book launch,
There's a-
like my kind of thing.
During the symposium, there'll also be a book launch. Estelle will be will be launching a book about Castlebrose.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
That's good.
Good.
What day?
Yes,
What
the
day
morning
that
class
would
will
be?
obviously
You're not sure what day.
Yeah,
That's
the-
part of
Yeah, the
what,
symposium.
Nigel,
The
just
symposium is on Monday.
on the Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, every married woman would take the name of their husband. Ma Preston, Ma Mado, Ma Apo, Ma. That doesn't exist anymore.
That's true. You know. Yes.
It was always Ma and the man name. Ma Apo, Ma Preston, Ma Esprit, Ma Tilai, Ma Terrace, Ma. But people don't
Ma
do that
Roberts.
anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be Ma Maki. But that
Yeah.
doesn't. No.
It doesn't right.
Now I'm
That's
Laureen
interesting.
Barnes Roberts. You have to,
And we used to use that to tease each other. If we notice a girl like a boy in school, We'd call him a Nigel. You know?
Yes, yes.
Ah.
So yeah, bring back those stories, man. Bring back those stories. By the way, what day is the sports day again? What day is the sports day? Nigeria, we are revamping the sports club. You
The
know,
sports days on Thursday.
on Thursday.
Beautiful,
Thursday, 14th
beautiful.
August,
Let's
yeah.
do that.
So
Yes.
the DBS Dream Team will no longer be a nightmare. We have been for
Yes,
years.
yes, the DBS Dream Team.
So we
was
can come,
everybody
man,
wanted-
Nigel. We
Yeah.
can go up there
everybody
and
wanted to play us
try a
because we
thing.
won everything.
Yeah. We'll go up there. We can put a team together.
So we extend an invitation to DBS Sports Club to be part of our sports day.
In fact,
Yeah.
as you said that, I think one of our most memorable, most exciting experiences we have had as a sports club was when we went to when we went to Castle Bruce. I mean, that was just something else a few years ago. It was really, really big, apart from the camaraderie and everything. I mean, there's the hospitality and the mere fact that we were there from DBS and we were just together with everybody, and that was so big. I can remember so many people came on that day. And yeah, I
Yes.
think we should go back there. I think we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Nigel Lennox, Honeychurch is under the live. Big up Lennox, thank you. And we would want you to come and do this Castle story for us.
Yes,
But we'll do it officially.
Definitely, Lauren. You know.
Well, I'm glad he's on
Oh
the
yes,
live.
oh
you
yes,
know,
definitely because
because
Lennox has that story to tell us.
Nigel,
So,
I'm
yes,
happy he's on the
thanks, Lennox,
live.
for the-
I
Yeah.
hope he will. I hope he'll tell me a yes next time. I'm happy he's on the live. That's my friend, you know. That's my friend.
Yes,
we
yes,
need to
yes,
have him
Lennox,
on, man. But
we are still waiting for Lennox. Come on, man, Dr. Honeychurch, Lennox Honeychurch, come on. We need you as a guest on CTD. I'll call you after the program if I need to. Whatever,
sure.
but we have to get you on board. There's so much of a journey to
Boy,
tell.
try everything for you,
Um,
Nigel. Anyway,
Yeah. Yes, he has a story to tell, definitely so. I'm still concerned, well, not concerned, but are you guys concerned that you're going to have so many people in Castle Bruce that it's going to be an influx but you have to take everything under control? Yes.
Well,
Jeff being the policeman is the ideal person to do it. But
well, so far we have everything under control. So far,
I'm very happy we're
the
involved
area of
in this.
operation has been organized. We're working on everything. We are,
All right, excellent.
as of Wednesday, I was on the ground. Yeah,
Okay.
everything
okay.
is in place.
Are there going to be, like, after the reunion, people always like to have t-shirts to go back with for some memorabilia and so on?
Yeah,
are you
I'm
gonna
wearing
have
one,
t-shirts
I mean-
for
He's
people,
wearing one,
people,
Nigel. He's
is
wearing a
all that part
t-shirt,
of the
you
whole
know.
act-
He's wearing a
Nigel,
t-shirt, I think.
When
Yeah.
you, when you buy, when you
Yeah.
buy, when you put big pass, you get a bag with a t-shirt and paraphernalia for
Okay.
the reunion. So that'll be part of what you pay for if you buy the week-long pass.
Ah, nice.
Nice. I like that. I like that part of it. And again, it's August 10th to the 17th, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We
August
want
10th
people to
17th.
save the date,
Reunion Village is going to be on the flat, Google flat right there, open for the whole week. And all the different activities, just kind of summarizing everything for, as we come towards the end. But definitely looking forward to that main event. Well, it looks like all events are main event, but of course that international night
Yeah.
breaker, that's going to be on the Sunday. So you want to make sure you're part of that. You can get your tickets for all events at Island.
The
Tickets
International
event.
Artist Night,
We-
Nigel, sorry, is on Saturday 16th.
Saturday the 16th, International
Yes.
Artist Night.
And you know,
But you're
Nigel,
there
we
for the
had
weekend, so you're not going to miss
But you're
anything.
there for the weekend anyway.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Nigel. Recently,
Yes,
we
we-
had Lazo. Recently as well, we had Liberator, and of course,
Yes,
we have
we
had
had
Breaker
Lazo,
twice or three times
Lazo,
already.
Yes, Liberated. There are some great musicians who came from there, was doing wonderful things. I mean, Lazo, international reggae artist, Liberator, over 50 years in the calypso scene. So, I mean, there's some wonderful, great artists from Castle
Yeah.
Bruce, Breaker himself, and others that have passed through. I like Lascelles Lifewas. I want to make sure Lascelles
Yeah.
Lifewas there.
Yeah, Rush
I
Joe.
want them to reunite for that event
Yeah.
and bring the drums.
Definitely, Nigel.
Yes. But well, listen, it was nice connecting as always. Looking forward to the Cassie Bruce reunion again.
But Nigel,
And
by
to
the way,
yes,
we have a part 2, with them next month. Is it is? I
Yes.
think it's next month.
Next
Sometime in
month.
July, so we'll have other guests.
yes.
Oh,
we'll
Yeah,
have
hopefully
other-
Breaker will be on
Yes.
this one.
And then
Yes,
hopefully again in
beautiful.
August.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I.
Breaker will be singing the song to you. Yes,
Yeah.
so we're looking forward to that. Cool as a cucumber. something like that.
Yeah, but it was really a pleasure, exchanging with you all. I really like the idea. I mean, I've heard a lot of reunions, but the essence that you want to capture in this reunion, it speaks volumes about community togetherness, about nation building as well, and just that kudme and the traditional aspects of our culture, going to the river and all of that. It just reminds me of when I was in Grand Four, and how life was. It was just so nice, so simple. Look at where we are now in terms of life, but
Yes.
yes.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah.
It's a
Jeff,
pleasure. It's a
Yes.
final comments, Jeff, from you?
Thank you for the opportunity. Hope to next time again. And I want to shout out my daughter, Emerald Drago, Shania Drago, and my wife, Gail Frederick. Once again,
All right,
thank you for the opportunity.
I didn't realize Jeff was from Jefferson Drago was from Castle Bruce, until this program. I
Until
knew
now.
him a long time, yes,
Yes.
Of course. He and my husband, I think they were very
Yes.
close ones.
Yeah, man.
Until now, I should have put the Drago with
connection.
Castle Bruce, yes.
Yes.
But yes. Castle Bruce.
Yes. Tony, final thoughts?
Well, I want to say thank you to you, Nigel and Ivona. Thank you, and thank you to all the folks who participated in this discussion. And we feel really grateful for your graciousness, because I think you are also allowing us to be on next month as well. So thank you for that. And of course to Jeff and Ayo for making the time to come, and Lauren. And folks, participate even if you're not from Castle Bruce. Remember, you can make a contribution, because as always, what happens in Castle Bruce benefits the entire nation and the region. So you'll be contributing to just the continued development of our people.
And we expect to hear a lot of reports from you, Anthony Drago. I know you were our roving reporter at some event and we want something like this. We want you to duplicate this for us.
The Diaspora Expo was last week, and I wasn't there, unfortunately, but from all reports, it was really grand.
Yes.
Marceline Edwards needs to take a bow. She manages to do it better every year.
Every year, yes.
So hats off to her.
And who took your job? What's his name again?
Yes, Wilworth
Robin.
Wilworth, I think Wilworth Robin
took your job, and he
took
did
the
a
job as the
fine
roving
job.
reporter.
Yeah.
So we thank him for that as well. Lauren, my dear friend, final thoughts, comments.
Yes, thank you very much for this huge opportunity given to the Castle Bruce family and friends reunion today. We appreciate you all. To all the people listening and commenting, thank you so kindly. We love that. I want to say that Castle Bruce family and friends reunion, it's the August 10th to the 17th, 2025. However, Nigel, people will come to Castle Bruce before that. So on the night of the 9th, it will be full moon. So we're going to have by the Bay Kimun Killer and bonfire. So that's why you come and see who's there, who from who.
Wow.
Yeah. So we start officially on Sunday, but the night of the 9th, we have a Kimun Killer full moon by the Bay. So thank you so much. It was certainly a pleasure to speak with you all, and we look forward to the next one. So all of you, you are welcome. We extend an invitation to you. Be in Castle Bruce for the Castle Bruce Family and Friends Reunion 2025.
Save the date.
It's going to be a rewarding experience.
And we hope to capture some of the activity.
Be rejuvenated, be energized, and you're going to leave Castle Bruce a completely different person.
Nigel, we can also capture some of the activity on the Saturday. That's when you have the Juve, right?
Yes.
So we can capture that,
remember,
even
the
what's
awards
happening
dinner,
live.
there's a theme, black and gold. It's a night of elegance. So your long dresses and your whatever. Come black and gold.
Okay.
On Saturday morning is P&P, pajama and powder, Juve. So your nightie, your duster, your false ray, your pajama. That's what we're going to relive back in the day, how we dress for Juve. Nice. Or we can have a contemporary section and a traditional section. So there'll be two sections in the Lapoca with Juve. There'll also be a band as well. So if you want to do your modern day thing, but a lot of us going to be in the traditional pajama, nightie, duster, false hair, powder.
Excellent. I look forward to that. For sure. Thanks for connecting. Tony, we always ask our guests when we always leave your thoughts on connecting the dots quickly. on the program?
It's a wonderful program. It's a reunion in a sense that happens every Saturday, right? Where you connect the dots to folks who, for whatever reason, are no longer home, and they can reconnect them.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, you can also join Tony on his program, which is on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Spotlight, right? So
yes, this week.
But Nigel, we have not had
TDN
Tony as a
Radio.
guest. We have had you as a guest, Tony. No.
we've not had him
Nigel,
as
we
a
need
guest,
to-
you know. So we
Nigel.
go that we have
Yeah.
just write him,
Yeah.
just write him down
Yeah,
quickly,
we
right
need
down
to
his name
work
quickly,
with-
because
yeah.
he has a story to tell
Oh, yes.
from Doha
Wow.
School to JC's to everything else. So, yes.
All right. So we have to end. We
Okay.
have to end.
Thank you
But
so much.
Yes, I
Thank you.
enjoyed it. I
Appreciate it.
really
Appreciate
enjoyed
it.
it, and we look forward to bigger things to come for you as you continue to organize this event and bring the people together. This is important, especially now when we see what is happening. If we can bring, people that we grew up, with together in one setting and reminisce, and talk about how we can develop the community, and not just talk about it, but put our words into